Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 216 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills helps you improve your table tennis. 216 is the number of stitches on a baseball. Today, we'll talk about the drill of the week, and it's an important one if you want to improve. In the questions, we discuss relaxing your arm while looping, Ma Long versus Waldner, when to play a pivot, returning serve in doubles, and updating your tactics during a match. I'm Jeff Plum, and as always, Supercoach Alois Rosario is here to answer your questions. Welcome, Alois.
Morning, Jeffrey. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm really good, Alois, and I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a big show today. A lot of good stuff in here.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, I really want to jump straight into the drill of the week because this is an important one for improving. Tell us about the drill of the week.
Yeah, and this is one you can do with a robot as well as with multi-ball. So what we do is we come in, we play the first ball with this as a short push, and then the next ball is long, and we make a forehand topspin or a backhand topspin. So the drill is
balls backspin.
Yeah, that's right. So both balls are coming off a backspin. So the first ball will be a short backspin where I come in and make a push, and then the next ball will be a long backspin where I go out and make that topspin. So this is really relevant because in a match situation, often the player serves short. So that's when you need to come in and make that return. And then the next ball hopefully comes back to you a little bit longer and you move out and make that forehand topspin. So it's a really important one to start that conversion between the defensive rally and the attacking rally. So as I said, you can do it with multi-ball. I usually do it with multi-ball, where if I'm working with a player, I'll push the first one short, then grab another ball and push it long, or you could even do it with the same ball. So you push that short, they push it back short, and then you push that same ball back long so that they can make that that topspin. With a robot, you can also do it. So if you've got a robot that can do more than one type of ball at a time. So this is a 2-ball drill. Get the robot to send the first one out short. You could even do it as a serve, so bouncing into your side, into their the robot side first, comes at you like a short serve. You come in, you push that one, and then get the robot to feed the next one out long with backspin. So so really useful drill.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And as you said, it's happens in a match so often. So if you can improve in this area, you're going to be harder to play against in a match. So everybody get out there, try the drill of the week, and let us know if it helps your game. All right. Now, moving on to yesterday's PingSkills question of the day, it was, how do you overcome bad form? What were people's ideas?
Yes, I had quite a few ideas. So Thad, very simple, said practice more. I like that, Thad. Giancarlo said discipline. Billu said, I make my video and ask myself, am I that much so dumb? I start exercises, by the way, and if the form is drastic, I switch my blade to a very control wood. Wouldn't necessarily recommend you change equipment though, Billu. I think, it's more a matter of working through your technique. So Mick, Dana said, first you have to recognize that you have bad form, then take the proper steps to correct it by focusing on the solution and execute it properly. I like that logical thinking. Duncan said, try and work out the reason first and foremost. Sometimes, though, I find that giving myself some time away from the game or playing a different style of play, lobbing, etc., can be really effective. So just, freeing yourself up, I suppose, there, Duncan. And also watching videos of top players can be really inspiring and make you want to play again. So some good ideas. But my favorite comes from Simon Johnson. And let me, just as an aside, so Simon Johnson, I read just yesterday, took a double hat trick in cricket on the weekend. So playing down Warrnambool Way in Victoria.
Oh my goodness. Do you mean he took 6 wickets in a row, or he took three one
No,
time and then three at another time?
no, not quite. A double hat trick is actually 4 wickets in a row. So
Ah, yes, that does
yeah,
make sense.
yes. So I was thinking the same thing, but I tell you, four wickets in 4 balls is pretty impressive, Simon. So I'm going to listen to you, Simon. So Simon says, form is temporary, class is permanent. Be positive and back your ability, and things will turn around. I like those wise words from a very wise man, obviously. So
Wow, that is quote of the day. Well done, Simon. I like it a
absolutely.
lot.
Yes, indeed. Double hat trick, man. Thank you.
Brilliant. All right. Well, that moves us on to today's question. And the PingSkills question of the day is, who would win in a table tennis match? Forrest Gump or Bruce Lee? And a big thank you to Johan for suggesting that question. Well, we were asked who is the best player of all time in the Ask the Coach forum, and there was quite a bit of discussion. And then, Forrest Gump and Bruce Lee both got brought up, and Johan thought that would be a great question. So jump onto the PingSkills Facebook page or the PingSkills website and go to the table tennis blog and let us know who would win in a table tennis match, Forrest Gump or Bruce Lee.
So that's a table tennis match, right? Not a fight, not a nunchuck
Definitely
battle.
not table tennis match.
Right.
They're both pretty good. We've seen that video with Bruce Lee. He's amazing, and then we all know how good Forrest Gump is. So I think it'd be a close match.
Yeah, the man's delusional. That's all right.
All right. Talking about delusion, who thinks this is a good segment? This day in history, but we're still doing it. So let us know, Alois.
Me. I think
what happened on the 3rd of February?
Well, here we go. It's the day the music died, Jeffrey.
Is that a song by Guns N' Roses or?
Jeff, the day the music died. So the tragedy of Buddy Holly dying in a plane crash today, 1959.
Really?
That's
See,
right.
And there I was just, giving you grief over this segment, and you come up with a really good one just to slap me in the face. That's really good. I enjoyed that one.
Exactly. Buddy Holly, and which, tragically inspired the greatest song of all time, American Pie, that used the line, the day the music died.
There you go. That's really, really good. You've just got me there. Well done. I like it. All right. Well, I'm struggling with all that emotion now, but I've got to move on to the question. So let's just plow ahead. First up, Mike has asked a question. He said, "Hi, guys. When I'm looping with my forehand," and he's a lefty like you, Alois, he says, "I try to relax my arm for a better swing, but sometimes I lose my form along the way. Either my elbow or wrist goes out of whack. So how do I find the correct medium so I don't lose form?"
Yeah, this is it. This is an interesting trade-off here between being too relaxed and not relaxed enough. So we often talk to you about, making sure that you're relaxed with your swing. But sometimes, yes, what I see is when we start to talk about being relaxed, people start to do this with their bats and their arm goes all over the place. And as you say, Mike, your elbow starts to float around. The thing to focus on here, and this is why we always harp on this, the thing to focus on is your start position and your finish position, and just getting your bat to move as easily and smoothly as you can between those 2 points. But it has to move between those 2 points. So it can't move anywhere else. It's just got to move in a straight line between those 2 points. So if you really focus on that and remaining relaxed, then you'll start to find that the swing will start to smooth out a little bit. But yeah, I do understand what you mean. It is difficult. Sometimes when we start to think about relaxed, the arm does get a bit floppy and the stroke goes out of whack. So remember the start and finish and staying relaxed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because if you remember the start and finish, your stroke can't go out of whack because you've got the correct path. But yeah, I guess generally we give the advice about relaxing because the most common problem is people tensing up. But yeah, obviously some people do relax really well and lose form. Great question, Mike. Yeah, so get onto those start and finish positions and let us know if that helps up. Love to hear your feedback after you try focusing on the start and finish position. All right, now a couple of questions from Victor. Victory, he's back and asking questions on Google Q&A app, so thanks for the questions. And this one is, who would win Marlon versus Jan Ove Waldner if they were both in their early 20s?
Waldner.
Waldner, there you go. All right. Yeah, and we asked this, I think it was a PingSkills question of the day recently, and it was pretty close, but I think most people were going for Waldner too, Victor. And then here's one for you in particular, Alois. Is it possible that you could start studying Swedish? If so, that would be cool. I know you've passed school a long, just 3 longs, a long time ago. But please study and learn to speak Swedish. Please, Alois and Jeff.
Hey, Victor. Good morgen. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Ja. Good morgen.
Yeah. I think you've mastered it. There you go. I don't think there's anything.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night already.
Tack.
I think you've mastered it. No need to go on any further.
Yeah. Nay.
All right, good one. Tam says, hi, Alois. When I do a side spin, backspin serve to my opponent's forehand, they push long into my backhand, and he's a lefty as well. Everyone's a lefty today. And he always spins it with his backhand into the net. So Tam's wondering, is he better at pivoting in this situation? And how do you know when you should play a pivot? We've lost Alois.
Yeah. Hello,
mate.
Hello. Yeah. So this is a big question. It starts with placing your serve well. So by placing your serve and practicing your serve a lot and practicing third ball a lot, you start to get the feel for where the ball's going to come back. So that's the first thing. So if you're worried about the ball coming into your backhand, so I'm a lefty, if I'm worried about the ball coming back into my backhand, then you want to be serving a little bit more into the right-hander's backhand corner so that the natural angle is a little bit more to my middle or to my forehand, and they can't get me wide on the backhand side. As to when you're going to play that forehand and backhand, so that's a decision-making thing. And a useful exercise is with either multi-ball or with a third ball drill. So if it's multi-ball, get your partner to feed backspin, but anywhere in the 2/3 of your backhand side of your table. So from your backhand corner to about halfway across your forehand. So from there, you then need to make a decision as to when you're going to play a backhand and when you're going to play a forehand. So that's, I find, a really useful drill to start to get that decision making happening better. So where's the ball, and when am I going to play a forehand? Where's my crossover? When am I going to play that backhand as well? The other thing you can do is to also think about, in a game situation, about the types of serves you're doing. So, so this serve, the opponent might like to jam it back into your backhand, whereas a reverse serve or even a simple tomahawk or a backhand serve, they may not be as comfortable returning that ball into your backhand. So there's lots and lots of considerations to think about there, Tam. So not just about your backhand, but then we do need to go back to that basic of being able to improve that backhand topspin against backspin as well. So, that's something you can just practice with multi-ball. Get them to feed the ball into your backhand and focus on your stroke. Try to get that stroke better. If the ball's always going into the net, then it's probably a little bit more about becoming a bit more vertical with your stroke, or just increasing the speed of your racket to lift the ball over the net. If the ball's dropping off there. So lots of things to think about there, Tam. So one is consider the positioning of your serve, consider the type of serve that you're doing, practice that decision making with multi-ball in between your forehand and backhand area, and then as a basic, make sure you're improving that backhand topspin as well, because if you improve that, then the problem almost goes away.
Yeah, great tips and great question, Tam. A lot to think about. So you might have to replay this answer a few times to get all the information, but take good note of it and let us know if that helps you. Good luck, Tam. All right, next question is from Arjan, who says, lately, it seems as if my service return gets significantly worse when playing doubles. I completely miss the ball off to the side or constantly feed them into the net. And I ask myself, why? Why do I stumble even against easy serves in doubles?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Often it's just people's orientation to the table and also just the perception, or a different perception from a different area. You know, like it's you say that it's the same serves and you're having difficulty. So it's just because you might be positioning yourself a little bit differently. So if I'm receiving in singles, okay, I'm standing over here and I'm seeing the serve come from here or come from there, and I'm used to that angle. I'm used to that position. Now in doubles, I'm over here and looking at the serve from a different angle, and it's surprising how easy it is to muck it up when there's just that slight change. I relate it to a person doing a pendulum serve from their normal position. So they're doing their pendulum serve from their backhand corner, but they move over to the forehand side and do exactly the same serve. And often you'll find that the receiver will make a mistake on that return because it's just a different picture. It's just a slightly different angle that the ball's coming in at. So it's about getting used to that. It's about just orientating yourself better for that double serve. So face the serve better. And then you need to make that decision between the forehand and backhand. So in your extended question, you did talk about that a little bit as well. So, you know, you're not sure to play forehand or backhand. So position yourself in the middle of that area that you're receiving from with doubles. And then you can work out, you know, do you want to be a little bit more this way to try and return with the forehand, or as you see some players doing, they move right over and return all of their shots with the backhand. The other consideration is your partner. So if you're all the way over here and using all of the table, and then you're moving your partner out of the way, you need to also consider that. So yeah, lots of considerations, but the main thing is just firstly, make sure you orientate yourself to facing the serve, and just get used to the different angles. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe a good suggestion, Arjan, is actually to practice returning from that position, and you'll start to get used to it. And yeah, I agree with you totally about that orientation, Alois. And I know we're talking about receiving here, but even with serving, when you mentioned that pendulum serve, I actually find it much easier to serve the pendulum from the backhand side because I do that much more often. But when I move over to the forehand side, maybe to try and confuse my opponent, it feels really strange serving from that forehand side, even though it's exactly the same serve. So it's really just a matter of getting used to serving from different spots, or in this case for Arjan, returning from the different spot.
Yeah, good point.
All right, great question. All right, now let's go on to Abhinav's question, who says, I think Samsonov troubled Timo with his fast long serve into Timo's backhand throughout the match. He's talking about the recent German Open where Samsonov beat Timo Boll and went on to make the final. And Abhinav asks, what would you do if someone continues to trouble you in one particular spot?
Yeah, so good observation there. First of all, Abhinav, Samsonov did trouble Timo Boll. So Samsonov's a right-hander, Boll's left-handed. So he served the pendulum serve a few times on critical points, straight down the line into Boll's backhand, and Boll got jammed up with his backhand and either made a mistake or gave Samsonov an easier ball. So what do you do in that situation? If it's happening a lot, try to close out that option by almost leaning towards it. So if in that situation, so a right-hander, so Jeff's serving long to me into my backhand side here. If I open myself out a little bit more and give myself a little bit more space and almost like you're going to be ready for that return, then it closes out that option in the server's mind a little bit anyway. So even though it still might be an awkward return for me, just by changing my body position and showing the server that I'm ready for that return, they will often change their serve and serve somewhere else. And from here, I can still go to make the short return or return with a forehand or whatever it is. So just by changing your body position, you can, in the server's mind, you can start to close that option out as well. So just open it up. I mean, it's difficult to change your ability to return a serve, but those little things can just help you in that particular match anyway.
Yeah, interesting. So you definitely don't want to just keep doing the same thing. Is that what you're saying? Try and change something up so that it gives your opponent a different view of the match.
Yeah, I like that thought. So just give your opponent a different picture to look at, so that they're not thinking, okay, I'm going to serve that deep into the backhand again.
Yeah, I've heard some people say maybe you should just try and attack that ball really aggressively, because then even if you miss it, that will scare the opponent off. Not really sure. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it does to some extent, especially early in the game. But I mean, this is something that might have just developed during the match as well. Like in general, Boll's pretty good in that position. Samsonov was just using deception pretty well and just throwing it in as a fast serve every now and then. So yeah, but definitely if you swing hard at it, your opponent, especially if your opponent doesn't know you that well, your opponent thinks, oh, okay, he missed it, but gee, that was scary. I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah, interesting. Well, great question, Abhinav. And, as Alois said, good observations. Great to see you watching the top matches. Everyone should get onto ITTV. It's on the ITTF website, and they stream live table tennis matches of all the top events. So check out ITTV. All right, Alois, just a couple of quick ones from Victory. He said,
and these are both for you, Jeff. Yeah.
He said, you spoke well, Alois, so keep practicing, but next time he wants to hear me, okay? And he also said, how's it going with the cubes, or is it too difficult? It's going all right. I keep practicing the cubes, so, I'm getting better. My best in competition was just under 30 seconds, 29.3. But it's slow going for someone my age to keep learning. So I'm hoping to get better, and I'm still practicing.
And I saw, I think you put a post up the other day about the robot that's solving the cube in 1 point something seconds now.
I know. These computer whizzes built a robot with some 3D printing and everything, and some cameras took pictures of the scrambled cube and then solved it in 1.3 seconds. It's a world record. They're just waiting for confirmation to get the world record, fastest solved by a robot. Technology takes over, Alois.
Yes, indeed. Use that robot for multi-ball.
Yep, technology always wins. All right, well, that wraps up show 216. Big thank you to everyone who asked questions, and thank you to everybody for watching. And, of course, thank you, Alois, for all your words of wisdom.
And thanks, Jeff. And we will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early.